What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Danny the Bull, back with a live stream here, and Bitcoin is pushing up against previous all-time highs. Ethereum is not too far off from its all-time high, so things are looking good. They continue to look good. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a bunch of our favorite altcoins. So let's see who we got in the chat, and let's get into it. Here we go. Bitcoin at a 122.7. I actually thought that 122.5 was the all-time high. It's 123, 180, which happened sometime in July. But 122,700 for Bitcoin, just $400 off the all-time high. So maybe we put in a new all-time high during this stream. Everything's looking solid. Things are going according to plan. Ethereum over 4,700. So it's about what, I want to say $160 away from its previous all-time high. And I would expect it to get, some rejection off of it and not quite break through on this really first attempt. See, Ethereum's been ripping up 30% in the last 7 days, and of course 60% over the last month, but the move has really accelerated over the last week. But it looks like we may put new all-time highs for both during this stream. So let's go. Cash in the house. What's good, brother? Our time is coming. Yeah, man, I think that our time is coming. I think that these next few months are going to be good. Base Slabs in the house. Let's go. B-Dubs in the house. Our time is coming. And we all know, September is really looking like a perfect storm. The way I think things are going to play out is we're going to, get into new all-time high territories on these things. Alts are going to pick up some juice and start running a little. And then we'll get a little cool-off period in September. I think that we climb in September in advance of this September 17th rate cut, which is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. Pretty much 98% chance of a rate cut, according to FedWatch, in September. Also in September, you've got the new Base wallet coming out. You've got Trump's World Liberty Financial dropping their crypto project in September. And also the Clarity Act, the next stage for the Clarity Act is also in September. So you got all these, 4 big moments, catalysts, whatever you want to call them, in September. We might see, a little bit of a local top. September's been historically a cool-off period for Bitcoin and alts. So, and then we get into October and the fourth quarter, and things are really looking good, and Ethereum is looking great. Here we go. Ethereum Treasury Company Bitmine Immersion plans to issue $20 billion worth of stock to buy more Ethereum. So everyone is bullish on Ethereum. This is, of course, Tom Lee's leads the board on this at this company. They're going big into ETH. Big buys are coming in, pushing the price up. Even if we do, get rejected here and dip down a bit, I would expect it to get eaten up, right? The further you get into a bull run, I think the shorter the consolidation periods and the pullbacks, because everyone is so bullish, right? And the price gets eaten up. So these guys are bullish, and they're buying, and they're raising their price targets. And this is what happens when you get towards that euphoria phase. $1 billion in inflows. These are daily inflows, all right? And these are records. I think a couple weeks ago, when I looked at the ETH inflows, they were setting records at $330 million. Now they've tripled, and we're seeing $1 billion in inflows for the ETH ETFs. And this is Google Trends. You see the trend is up on the past 7 days, but look at the past 30 days on Ethereum. We're reaching a new high, right, on Google Trends. And if you go back for the last 12 months, again, breaking out into new all-time highs in terms of mind share and people looking up Ethereum, which is interesting because crypto's lagging a little, right? The rest of this is crypto over the last 12 months. We saw a spike in July, right? So people aren't quite yet searching for altcoins yet, but I suspect that'll change, and it'll change rapidly. And you know, as happens when something like when Ethereum runs hard, right? And everyone else FOMO's in. I think that they're going to stick to a 25 basis point cut. Right now on FedWatch, 50 points isn't on the table, right? So, I mean, consensus is 25. Could they do 50? They might, but I don't know. It's possible. But I think my thinking is they'll do 25. Either way, I think it's fine. They do 25, and then October, another 25. There's a 64% chance for a total of 50 basis points by October. And then it's going up for the probability of 3 cuts by the end of the year is going up. This was at like 40% last week. It's at 53%. So I think it's possible that we get 3 rate cuts by the end of the year. But what's super bullish is Bitcoin's at 122.7. Ethereum is right pushing up against all-time highs. And look at the Fear and Greed Index. It's right in the middle of neutral. We're not in extreme greed, right? And that to me is really bullish because that signals that we're not, you know, that euphoria hasn't set in. There's not that extreme greed in the market. Because when we get into extreme greed, that's usually the best time to sell, right? When people think about when should I sell? When's a good time to sell? It's usually when everyone is euphoric, right? And this was the best time to sell, right? Not at the beginning, but in December here was a good time to sell some alts. The best time to buy was when we were in extreme fear, right? And that was March, April. We were in extreme fear. Right now we're neutral, which tells you that the market hasn't really heated up yet. We haven't gotten into extreme greed. And once we get there, we can stay there for a bit. So, right, if you look at all time, this isn't track all time because this is CMC. I need to do some research and see like the longest periods of time that the market has stayed in the extreme fear range. That's good data. Matt Johnson, what's good, brother? Joss in the house, how you doing? Do you think Bitcoin needs to hit a price before the normies come in? I think it's not about Bitcoin at this point. It's going to be about it's going to be about Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin, and some of these other coins, because Bitcoin already hit $100,000. I think that was a huge psychological number for people, but normies, Bitcoin's way out of reach in their minds, right? For them to say, you know, they think they missed the boat on Bitcoin. They're not looking to get in at 120,000. But when they see these other coins start popping off, you know, and when you really saw it, for me, the most normie retail friendly coin this cycle is XRP. Right? This is what all the boomers are buying. Anytime I meet someone new who's new into crypto this cycle, they're buying XRP. Someone rang my bell Verizon guy trying to sell me, trying to get me to switch over to my mobile to Verizon. And I told him I had to go. I was on a call or whatever. It was, and he actually like, "Oh, what kind of call is it on?" He's trying to engage me in conversation. I said it's about crypto. His eyes lit up, and he said he just got into crypto. I said, "What did you buy?" He said XRP. All right, so everyone buys XRP this cycle first, it seems. I think if XRP heats up again, everyone loves Dogecoin, and some of those guys. I think Ethereum will help. Ethereum breaking out is going to help. These are the things that get retail back in. So I think it'll happen. We've seen signs of it happening, right? It just hasn't, usually retail will buy the top, right? They'll get in when they're the last to find out, right? And so they're going to pile in towards the end, and then we dump on them. And that's the price they pay for being late. But that's what it is. So, yeah, more room to go. I think we're looking good for the next few weeks. And then I think we'll maybe get a cool off. And then I think we get fireworks end of the year. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, I think Bnkr is going to do really good. And Bnkr is one of the coins that I wanted to talk about. I think Bnkr is going to billions. Let's pull it up. This is not the Coin Market Cap just got Bnkr on there. Let's try CoinGecko to look at the all-time chart. Yeah, look at the all-time chart for Bnkr. It's beautiful, right? It's just up and to the right, basically. You get these pullbacks, they get eaten up, pullback, eaten up, all along the way, right? And this is, it launched in December, really started taking off in January. All right, just got listed on Coinbase, and it's got real catalysts ahead of it. You've got the base wallet coming out. I was just talking to Harish, and he was saying how he just got into base wallet, and Bnkr is fully integrated in there, right? So you can access Bnkr right in base wallet. It's really big, I think. Coinbase Ventures has invested, I think, $50 million in Bnkr. Coinbase listed it on their proper exchange, which, with the DEX integration into Coinbase, some people might say you don't need a proper Coinbase listing this cycle. It's not the same as it used to be. And I think that's true in terms of like access, because now people can access things on the DEX, but it's still a huge stamp of approval to get listed on Coinbase proper, right? And Bnkr did that. They generate revenue. They're a launch pad that launches clankers, right? If you're familiar with the ecosystem, they're all over the timeline. They're kind of like meme-ish because of, the branding is great. And I think that Bnkr will go to command $1 billion market cap. And then once it gets to $1 billion, I could see it doing multi-billion this cycle. It's at 80 million now. And the thing about it is, it all depends really on what kind of alt season we get, right? If we get a season that's similar to 2021, and in 2021, we saw crazy valuations for, things like Axie, which I think went, if I'm not mistaken, Axie went to like 20 billion, right? But it got to 8 billion. Decentraland, nearly 8 billion. So a lot of these coins that led the way in the hot narratives, right? Metaverse gaming was a hot narrative last cycle, commanded, $5-8 billion market caps. AI is hands down, I think everyone can agree, going to be the leading narrative this cycle. So I expect a bunch of AI coins to command $1 billion market caps. Not all of them, because there are a bunch of them, right? but the good ones, the ones that make it, will command billion-dollar market caps, and I think they'll get to 5 billion, 7 billion. So now, do we get the same type of, alt season? That's the question. I think we can get to 6 to 9 trillion is what I said before, way before this bull run started. I had my eyes on a 6 to 9 trillion dollar market cap for the whole crypto asset class. All right, that's just based on how it's grown, right? So, 2018, 760 billion, 2021, 3 trillion. Right now we're at 4 trillion, right? I think this thing can get to 6 to 9 trillion. If that happens, I anticipate we'll get about 400 coins that will at least hit that $1 billion mark and get into the billions. Last cycle, there were about 135. If you look right now, there are less than 100. Right? If we look now, we have less than 100 are at $1 billion. All right. So we have a higher total market cap, a $4 trillion total market cap, less than 100 coins at $1 billion market cap. My expectation is if we get to 6 to 9 trillion, we could see, between 300 to 400 coins top $1 billion. All right. And I do think that Bnkr, if we get to that level, is poised to hit, into the billions. Fair launch, fully diluted. Ox Deployer is the dev. He delivers consistently. They just added leverage trading. Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase, put out a tweet about that he's used Bnkr and that he likes it and that they just need to work on it to make it more, user-friendly for mass adoption sort of thing. All right. So when you have Brian Armstrong tweeting about using it, it's in AI. It's a launch pad basically, because on the X feed, it's the interface for Clanker. If you're not familiar with the whole thing, I think Clanker is really good too. So it's the interface for Clanker on X where you can say, take this meme, make this picture, whatever not PFP, but whatever it is, and create this token, vest 10% of it. We can create the whole contract and it'll do it for you on the timeline. So it's a launch pad, and it launched DRB, which is something I want to talk about also. So yeah, I think Bnkr can go to billions. And while we're on the subject of Bnkr, I'll talk about DRB, Debt Relief Bot, which I got this and I put this out when it was just under a $10 million market cap. And it's not even on CoinMarketCap yet, is it? No. I have to go to CoinGecko. It just got on CoinGecko. I think DRB is worth looking at. It's a meme coin, and it could, the narrative sounds crazy, but crazy is good in crypto, right? Crazy works in crypto. And this, to me, is a narrative that is made and built for crypto. So look at the chart. It immediately spiked up, came down, went flat, and is now popping off again. Look at the monthly. It's been a steady climb up, higher lows, higher highs. And it's up against resistance right now, but it's at an $18 million market cap. And why I like Debt Relief Bot is, one, it came out of the Bnkr ecosystem. It was launched on the timeline, and it was launched and deployed by Grok. It is the first coin launched by Grok, an AI platform, with another platform, Bnkr. So two AI agents created DRB, Debt Relief Bot, and Grok came up with the ticker for it, came up with the name. It was fair launch on the timeline. Now, the way that Clanker works, and if you launch something on Bnkr, the creator of the token gets rewards in trading fees, right? So if you generate crazy volume, then a small percentage of that goes to the creator wallet. and it goes there and it's in the trading pair. So in this case, it's half DRB, half ETH, right? And those are rewards for the creator. So right now, Grok's wallet is just under $1 million, making him the first AI, the AI with a millionaire, right? Which is crazy and sounds like it's a stupid story. But this is a perfect crypto story. And when I go into spaces and there are like 200 people there for DRB, there are people there from like the Tesla community and they hate it. There are people there from, who are interested in AI, and they have these philosophical conversations on should AI agents have money and what can they do with it and what are the implications of it. So it's an interesting story that I think is tailor-made for a mainstream story, right? It's just a matter of time before those trading fees escalate and Grok now has $5 million, $10 million. And then, what happens, when news stories come out and say Grok is a millionaire. That's my thesis. That's why I loaded up on DRB, because if, Fartcoin went to $1 billion market cap because it was the first coin on Pump Fund that was, made with it was named by an AI agent, right? The AI, they pumped the info into AI and he said, creates Fartcoin. And they did. And that was the narrative behind Fartcoin, right? So DRB has a narrative where it is the first coin created by Grok, but it's created by 2 AI agents. And Grok has a wallet that is accruing fees. So this is something that I think has the legs to take off. The chart is good. The community is good. And the other fundamental good thing about it for someone like me who's wary of meme coins, because of the way meme coins are structured, oftentimes you have team members who control large, supply control, and they can dump on you, or there are Coles who can dump on you, who get pieces of supply. Grok is the team, right? Grok can dump. So, the people who have access to XAI, they have access to the wallet. So that's another issue, right? But even still, it's less than, it's not a large portion of the supply. So you're not going to get founders dumping. You're not going to get Coles dumping. So at $17 million, $18 million, I think Debt Relief Bot is has the potential to go higher and a lot higher. So super bullish. This is actually, I've been very bullish on DRB because meme coins can get to stupid valuations, right? So in the Bnkr ecosystem. And the other interesting thing is if you follow Mcade, I'm sure that you saw that Coinbase put out. So Brian Armstrong put out this commercial ad, whatever you want to call it, for their new DEX integration into Coinbase. And you can see what the first coin is there that's listed. You can't really see it. Wait for it. There it is. It's DRB right there. That's the first coin that they chose. So the fact that they chose to put it on the list for their DEX commercial, I think is really telling and interesting. And I think the story, once it breaks out, I think there's going to be a story there and it's going to propel it higher. But also on this list is, there we go, Mcade. So if anyone here is bullish on Mcade and needed more reason to be bullish on Mcade, Coinbase is bullish on Mcade, and Base is going to be pushing all this stuff. It was great to see Mcade make it into the ad for Coinbase, right? So Mcade, I think, just needs to, I'm going to get back into the chat in a minute. Mcade has been stuck, man, at this, at this resistance. It's been really strong resistance, but it's like kind of coiling up here, man. It's, you look at over the month, so it's kind of coiling up like a snake, right? Which means that it could be ready to go. And I think maybe once Ethereum breaks out to new all-time highs, because we're seeing this. We're seeing a lot of coins are just kind of staying still right now, as people wait to see what Ethereum is going to do, if Ethereum is going to break out to new all-time highs. If you look at bubble maps, you see the small caps down here barely moved today, while the top 100 up 3.5% almost. It was up. They were up about 7% earlier today. So the bigger coins, and this is typical, right, of what happens. Bigger coins were moving a bit more today. Smaller coins staying still, like Mcade, kind of been a stable coin. I think that once Ethereum gets into new all-time highs, I'm noticing in my own portfolio, a lot of my coins are at resistance, right? They're in this range and they're at resistance and they're just waiting for that next leg up, which for Mcade starts at, 22022 is that wall of resistance for it. And you see it here. This is July. This is also July, the week before. This is May, March. Has a hard time getting over this level. But once you do, you're getting, you could run up to, previous all-time highs, which is in the fours, right? So it's a good 100% move up for Mcade. So it's looking good. And Gangs of Medicadia just launched season 4. They are also very well positioned for the new base wallet. Russ said that their first mini app, I think, is done, and they'll have other mini apps coming out, and they're tailor-made for that thing. So let's take a look at the chat. Jeremy, what's good, brother? Love you too, man. Thank you. What do you think about space and time? Is this a philosophical question, Chad? Or is space and time a ticker, brother? I don't know what space and time is. What is space and time? Here it is. I've never heard of it. Let's pull it up. Let's see. This is on ETH. And where is the website? I don't see a website. Let's look at the yearly. I'm curious. Let me know about it, Chad. Is there a comparable DEX you can compare to Arrow? Yeah. You can look at Uniswap, I think. Uniswap got high. So Uniswap is at a $7 billion market cap right now. Now, last cycle, let's see where it was at the height of last cycle. When did Uniswap drop? It's a good question also. No, it came out after, yeah. So all-time high on Uniswap of 41 bucks. I'm not sure what the market cap was because there could have been less dilution, less coins in circulation at that time. But let's, for argument's sake, that it gets back to all-time highs, which is a little more than a 3x from here. It puts it at a $21 billion market cap. So I guess that's your comparable for Arrow. Could Arrow get to 20 billion? I don't see why not in a big. I think it could because it's the main. This is going to be all the traffic in Coinbase. It's the main DEX, right, for base stuff. And if you look at, let's look at Aerodrome trading volume. In DeFi Llama, so trading volume is doing about 5 billion in volume. Let's look at chains. Let's look at base. So this is here we go. So it's doing more volume on base than Uniswap. Yeah, I think Aerodrome, that's only going to increase a lot, right? As this bull market really kicks into gear, because we haven't seen, I'm looking for chains. We haven't seen peak volume yet. Let's look at base chain volume. Hold on. So if you look at base volume, this is at, is this total? I should have set this up before. But let's look at, all right, here we go. Solana, you see the volume peaking in January over here, right? See how that volume just went like parabolic? It's cooled off. I think we're going to see similar thing happen. Heading into Q4, volume is going to get exponentially increased, and Aerodrome is going to be the main benefit of that over on base. So yeah, I think you could see, over a $10 billion market cap. I'm not familiar with Home. Let me look at it. Here it is, Home. Home chart looks pretty good. Let's see. Yep. Home chart looks good. $124 million market cap. I'll have to look into it. I'm going to write it down. That's the thing. There are so many plays out there and options that there are things that you never hear of. Block, I think, is good. It's an infrastructure play. It's a launch pad. And also like the stable coin narrative. Block chart looks really good. I picked this up this week, just launched in July. I also like that, a lot of my recent plays are things where the chart just looks great, meaning there aren't bag holders, people who've held like 80% down, right? Fresh charts, no bag holders. Mostly everyone at this point is in profit. So psychologically, they feel good. Sentiment's good. And Block is Block Street. It's bridging Wall Street to Web3. It's basically, so Trump's World Liberty Financial is coming out in September. And their whole thing is they're creating this new stable coin. And this is all tied to the Genius Act. Right? So now that stable coins are getting regulatory clarity, World Liberty Financial came up with USD1. It's a new stable coin. All right. It's big money in it. And Block is working with them to help launch or get USD1 integrated into different chains. What's really interesting, so it's a launch pad and an ecosystem play for USD1. And what's really interesting is that the CEO of, or the founder or CEO of Block Street just became the CEO of World Liberty Financial. So I got into Block because I wanted access to World Liberty Financial but you can't get access to it because it's launching at a $5 billion market cap or whatever. When the new Trump coin launches, it's launching as the top 20 coin already because rich people had access before us, right? So for me, block is kind of like a proxy play for World Liberty Financial. So I picked some of that up this week. What's good, HG? Frank the Tank in the house. How you doing, brother? Jeremy says XRP is the normie entry coin. Tell the Verizon guy he's giving his money away to the XRP insiders who love to dump on everyone. Yeah, I told him you need to buy Bnkr. And he gave me his number. And he said, how do I get it? I said, you got to download Base Wallet. This is before it was on Coinbase. And it was at like a $40 million market cap. And he gave me his number. I texted him. And he said he would get it, but I don't know if he got it. Docker Sorva QE. I'm not familiar, brother. I'll write them down and I'll look into them. Space and time is backed by Microsoft. Yeah, that's always a good thing. Anytime that you, and that's also, so anytime you get something that's backed by Microsoft, backed by one of these companies, it's a plus, right? I like, I saw this in the chat, Tata Kiki on BNB chain on X. A lot of people from Binance and other exchanges reacted or answered to their post, even CZ twice. The interesting thing is BNB doesn't have 1 billion meme coin yet. Yeah, you know what? And people thought, and I wonder if they'll get one. Is it Tata Kiki? Hold on. Let me go back. Tota Kiki. Doesn't roll off the tongue, brother. Here it is. $5 million market cap. What's the meme? Over the last month, actually, it's pretty, looks pretty good. I remember broccoli when CZ tried to like pump broccoli and like all these like 100 broccoli coins were, he said he gave the name of his dog and it was broccoli and like 100 broccoli tokens popped up. I hated that part of the market. What's good, Kumo? How you doing, brother? I'll check it out. Docker ZXBT. Let's take a look. It was a small cap, huh? $5 million market cap. Is this a recent launch? This just came out. Interesting. So it's better to sell Mcade on Aerodrome than Uniswap, less price impact. Yeah, if you do it, usually when I sell Mcade, I just do it. I it's like swap it in. I swapped it in Uniswap, and it does it in the background. I mean, not in Uniswap. I'm sorry, in MetaMask. But I would guess on Aerodrome. And when I buy, also it's I just swap, and it does it in the background. Becker dropped a show this morning and promoted 15 to 20. Yeah. Oh, that's why I was going to say I saw Astra pumping, and I had a feeling that Becker was going to pump Astra, and I've said that a bunch of times here because he's commented on it. And so there we go. Astra, $2.33. Congratulations, people holding that. Hopefully it lasts. But Astra's held up pretty well in the, in the $1.50 range. It didn't sell off as hard as a bunch of other coins. I also saw Hash AI pumping as a result. Good stuff. And that's why, part of it is, for some AI coins, like when I bought Hash AI, it was because of the Bnkr factor, right? It's because Bnkr's going to pump the bags. It's like Miria went to $150 million market cap in, back in the beginning of 2024. And that was strictly pretty much off the back of Alex Bnkr pumping it and then the comparisons to Gala. So good stuff there. Also, I've been talking about Morphware. Nice pump on Morphware, up 60% over the last month, over the last 7 days, 25%. And news dropped yesterday. This is one that I'm bullish on. Let's pull it up. This is a good small cap AI project. So yesterday, there was a pending announcement yesterday, or this was today maybe. A leading UAE investment firm has committed to investing in Morphware's AI infrastructure and mining operations, opening new doors and driving the next phase of our growth. Let's make Morphware greater than ever. Story was picked up on Reuters. Morphware expands to UAE, strengthening its position in sustainable AI and decentralized computing. The other good thing about Morphware is that they're a revenue-generating company, right, through their AI agents that they, I guess, rent out or whatever, or their software as a service, and through their Bitcoin mining. And they do buybacks, all right? So there's like a flywheel effect. So good to see Morphware doing its thing. On the show, Bnkr said he talks to the Astra, well, it's team. That's interesting. And he respects the project. Yeah, I think if he's talking to the team, and the team at Astra is solid. I mean, I don't know them, and so it's hard for, but what I do know is that they've consistently put out partnerships. I think they did a $20 million raise in December or something like that. And it was committed to also to buybacks. So they have, they've consistently supported the project and tried to push it. So I think, now that you got people like Bnkr noticing it, it should bode well. You see, they just have constant partnerships. And they've done this throughout the whole cycle. So when I first bought Astra, it was super cheap. Let me see what else I got. The other thing, actually, I think can't find my notes. Here we go. The other update was on Relio network. For those of you who are, I know Cash is in Rio. I don't know if it's true. I saw on the X timeline, Rio is picked up now. It was kind of beaten down and frustrating for a bit. Had a hard time getting back up over 30 cents. But I saw this week that there was a rumor of some form of partnership in Dubai or UAE, a real estate deal. And one of the things that these guys are doing is buying up real estate and then tokenizing it. So that might be the cause for Rio over the last 7 days picking up again, which is great to see. I did catch the Devve AMA today. It was nothing like majorly new. He was just answering questions from the community. The one person asked about the partnership for Devve, and um, he obviously couldn't give much away. But I think the question was, will they be using Devve tech, right, or using their tech? And I think the hint, what I got out of it was that whoever their partner is may be using Devve's tech. So I'm wondering if that's like NASDAQ. Is NASDAQ looking to get into tokenization, tokenizing, putting stocks in the blockchain, running NASDAQ 24/7? I know that they're looking at this in the future, but are they looking to do this with Devve? I don't know. Price is at 51 cents last I saw. Yeah. It's kind of like a stable coin as people just kind of wait. Here we go. Let's see. It's like Bitcoin touched 123. Touched 123, bounced down. So maybe we get a new all-time high today. Maybe we get a new all-time high on Ethereum. We are not too far away. Just wanted to go live and do some updates on some coins and on the market. Thanks to everyone for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.